Hi guys, this is going to be a full review and helpful hint video for the video game Batman for the NES. Released in 1990 in North America by SunSoft, makers of other great titles like Blaster Master, Journey to Silius, and Fester's Kwa. Sorry, that still gives me nightmares. My review from 2007 is still pretty vivid in my mind. And let's not forget the Saw incident. Ish. Anyway, back to Batman, I guess. First off, I'm glad that SunSoft did get to make this game, since back in those days, LJN seemed to get all the movie licenses. I can't think of one LJN movie title that was worth the ROM chip it was flashed on. Well, maybe Friday the 13th. I kind of like that game. In this game, you're Batman, obviously, and you have to go through 5 stages to get to the tower where the Joker resides. Along these stages, you have platforms, henchmen, robots of all shapes and sizes, big monkey guys, and a slew of stage hazards to overcome. This is a pretty tall order for any one man. But this isn't just any man we're talking about here. This is Batman. Batman has 4 different attacks at his disposal to defeat his enemies. First, you have your fists, which I personally use the most. I mean, they don't deplete, so, they're your fists. Next, you have the batarangs. These suckers can be a lifesaver in some scenarios, especially the battle with the Joker himself. Sometimes you'll have enemies on platforms that can block your ability to land on them. In this instance, the batarang is essential. It also only takes 1 ammo point to shoot them. The gun, well, yeah, Batman's got a gun this time. No more screwing around, he's out for blood. The gun fires rounds completely across the screen, which is great for bosses that are far away. However, it is slow to shoot and can hinder your quickness and timing a bit. Lastly, we have the throwing discs. This attack I find very useful against sliding mines that whiz at you and explode too close to the ground to attack any other way. One aspect of this game that is used heavily is the wall jump. It is completely reminiscent of Ninja Gaiden, as you can jump back and forth between walls to get where you need to. Also, there are many places where you need to fall, cling to the wall of the platform you're on, then jump so that you can get to the next platform or ground. Jumping is time sensitive as well. Holding A longer will make Batman jump higher or farther, while just tapping A will give him a short jump. This is a vital maneuver to know in order to get through some tough areas. The controls in this game are top notch. A is jump and B is attack, as any good side scroller should be. The start button scrolls through the weapons and select pauses the game. In stage 1, you're in the streets of Gotham City. This area isn't too difficult, but it definitely gives you an idea of what you're in for. The platforming is spot on. As I mentioned before, the controls are great, so platforms pose no problem for Batman here. You have 2 areas to go through in this stage, and at the end of Area 2 you meet the first big challenge, the Red Ninja. This is the only time he makes an appearance the entire game, but he definitely leaves his mark. I found the best way to deal with him is to shoot him before he animates and comes at you. Fighting him hand to hand is not recommended. Immediately after fighting him is this stage's boss, Killer Moth. To take him out, just shoot him when he swoops down to avoid his shots. Do this a few times and he's dust. Stage 2, the factory, has the stage hazards I mentioned earlier. The platforms leak toxic slime that hurts you when you touch it. The nice thing is that they're not too difficult to avoid. However, something that is a little difficult to avoid are the electrified platforms. Even the enemies are affected by them. Look at this guy. His buddy probably laughed his ass off until I took him out. The platforms get harder to get to, so you have to fall and wall jump to reach them. This gives the game a small bit of puzzle solving and how you're going to get over there. Area 2 of this stage reminds me a lot of Quickman's stage in Mega Man 2. There are sections where you have to quickly fall down platforms to proceed, all while dodging enemies, much like the lasers in Quickman's stage. Also, there are metal gears along the ceilings and walls that you must avoid, and moving platforms that are reminiscent of Metal Man's stage in Mega Man 2. It definitely makes for an interesting stage, as you're always moving. The boss of this stage is the boss room itself, the machine intelligence system. You're attacking certain areas of the walls that are shooting at you, and there are 3 sections to this boss. I personally recommend shooting the ground level wall and the top level wall with bullets. The last one on the right should be punched, because if you shoot it, it will shield itself. Batman's punch is all you need to take it down. So now we're off to stage 3, the sewers, and it has some annoying enemies. The first one you come across is a guy that jumps around you like a robot gorilla from Woodman's stage in Mega Man 2. Huh. It seems that SunSoft were Capcom fans after all. Anyway, just stay out of his way and punch him when close and you'll be good. This level has water that is pushed by turbines all over the stage. The water isn't your issue, it's the turbines, so stay clear of those. As you run, fall, and platform your way to the end, you'll reach a cave area with large Terminators blocking your way. That's the only way I can describe them. I really don't know what these guys are. As you platform your way to the end, you will encounter this stage's boss, the Electrocutioner. To beat him, I found that if you encounter him head-on and wait at the end of the room, he faces toward the wall on the other side and you can shoot him at your leisure. Now, I know this was kind of taking advantage of a glitch, but hey, I'm not cheating. It's the game's fault it did this. In stage 4 we have another factory. There's a lot of action going on in this level with enemies and what seems like every platform. I mean, look at this. You're also going to be using a lot of wall jumps to get across the stage, so by this time you got to be proficient at it. This is another factory, so the quick man effect is back, with having to fall down through the levels of platforms, hoping that you make it through before the electricity zaps you. The moving platforms and electricity in the next section make it a bit hard to wall jump where you need to be, but it is definitely a welcome challenge. Once you get past that and some more Terminators and other enemies along the stairs, you will hit this level's boss, the Dual Containment Alarm, also known as 2 big blocks that shoot you. Wall jumping is your friend here, definitely. Just stand between the 2 platforms and shoot them when you can. When one goes down, the other will go crazy. Just stay away and unload on it, and it's done. Now we're at the bell tower. This is the game's final stage, and you'll have to fight 2 bosses back to back at the end. So make sure you have enough batarangs and bullets to last, because you will definitely need them. This is a frustrating level. There are gears everywhere. Everywhere. You will definitely need to use your fall and wall jump ability very often. Some jumps are so precise you might be reminded of the insane jumps they expect you to make in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The entire level is like this. And then you have to fight the Joker's personal henchman in this game, Firebug. To defeat him, you gotta jump and throw batarangs. Jump and throw batarangs. That's it. Just stay clear of his fireballs and watch out for his charge. Be careful here because once you defeat him, you have to fight the game's final boss, the Joker himself. The Joker isn't that hard to beat actually. If you stand right at the end of the barrel of his gun, it won't shoot you. It'll go right past you. It is also a good place to stand for his lightning strikes as it'll miss you in this spot. Do not let the Joker shoot you. It will take 4 points off your life meter. That's half. If he runs past you, he'll hit you, but don't worry, it's only 1 point. Keep hitting him with your batarang and you will defeat him in no time. Once he hits the ground, punch him repeatedly. Then you'll be awarded with the game's ending cutscene. Very satisfying. In fact, all of the game's cutscenes are top notch. They are very well detailed and look amazing for an NES game. Not much of the game has to do with the movie, but the cutscenes really make you feel like you're in the middle of the story. As for the music, I love the level themes. They are energetic and very well put together themes. Just listen to some of this level music. As good as the level music is, the introduction music is a tremendous letdown. Not only is it a letdown, but when I first heard it, I thought that the game had frozen. Check it out. Now, that being said, as a whole, this game is definitely a gem in the NES library, and that is a very rare thing for a game based on a movie. One interesting thing about this game is that we're playing the final version here, but there is an unreleased prototype floating around. This version of the game sports completely different cutscenes that tie in to you jumping into the level. It also has one of the coolest cutscenes, in which I wish they would have kept, is that the Joker is sitting down in his chair with Firebug behind him, and he tells him to go get Batman. Whenever he comes back, he thinks it's Firebug, but it's not, it's Batman. And it just makes for a really awesome cutscene. The only really big issue I have with this version of the game is that the ending completely sucks. You don't fight the Joker at all whatsoever. You fight Firebug and then that's it. He's the last boss. All you get is a cutscene of you punching the Joker. It goes black and white, and then that's it. So in that aspect, I'm really glad that they did go with this version of the game. I just wish that they would have added that cutscene at the end. I mean, the other cutscenes were interesting, but that one was by far my favorite. I hope this video has been helpful to those stuck at any point in the game, and I also hope that it opened the eyes of some folks who stay away from movie games just because of the stigma assigned to them. Now go out and play some games.